Welcome to Columbus Rotary. We look forward to hearing the presentation. Welcome, Kathy.
Oh my gosh, how would anybody know how my baton's really good? Okay, that is bringing up stuff from my past that I just rather not remember, the baton twirling thing, but it is true. Thank you, Mike, very much. There was a warrior who was running through the woods because he was being chased by a bear. The bear chased him off a cliff, and as he was falling off the cliff, he grabbed a hold of a branch that was extending from the cliff wall. He's holding on for dear life. He looks up and he sees that the bear is still trying to get him and is reaching down with his big claws and just missing him by inches. He looks down to where the ground is, and he doesn't have that far to drop, but there are lions down on the ground. So he's holding on, bears up here, lions down there. And then he looks to where his branch is attached to the cliff wall, and he sees some groundhogs nibbling away at the branches. But he also notices that there's a clump of strawberries miraculously growing from this cliff wall. And he reaches out with one hand, holding on with the other, and he grabs one of the strawberries and he bites into it. And he says, "Ah, delicious." That's gratefulness in turbulent times. Brother David is a Benedictine monk, and I had the opportunity to go on a weekend retreat that he led, and you can just tell by his beautiful voice, you know, what power there is in that. He was a child during World War II, and he talks about one of the reasons why we have difficulty with gratefulness is because we have a lack of lack. We have so much. And he said when he was a little boy during World War II, his entire town, Vienna, was really bombed out. His house wasn't, but the houses next to him were. And he said what was interesting is they had very little food, no food on some days. And he said that, interestingly enough, in those places where the houses had been bombed out, ragweed started to grow in abundance. And he said that's what we ate. And he said it was pretty good. I know as Rotarians, my guess is you are individuals, and as a group I know, you're committed to service. You know firsthand how much we have and how little our neighbors have. And yet you also have seen that material wealth doesn't ensure happiness or keep suffering at bay. And poverty doesn't negate joy or gratefulness. So let's look at this first element of ordinary gratefulness. That's what I call the kitchen sink level of gratefulness. We'll call it Gratefulness 101. The way you do that is to begin a practice that causes you to notice the little things throughout the day that bring a smile or a laugh or something that feels good, something that provokes your heart being touched, your heart being opened. Could be, maybe you see someone walking their little puppy and the puppy's just prancing down the street, or you see, a beautiful picture of a woman, holding her baby and she's falling in love with her baby and the baby's falling in love with her, or let me make a male reference, a particularly good sandwich. We might call this cheerfulness practice, if that's not too obnoxious of a term for you. It's a concept I borrowed from Pema Chodron, and with this practice she says that you're actually strengthening a muscle, just like your weight training, only the muscle you're strengthening is gratefulness. The second point is extraordinary gratefulness. Maybe you've already mastered Gratefulness 101 and you're ready for the next step. Everything I said before rings true for you. Then my second point could be considered the graduate level course. Duke Ellington said, "I merely took the energy it takes to pout and wrote some blues." Life is not the way it's supposed to be. It's the way that it is, and how we cope with it is what makes the difference. We can spend a good deal of our lives thinking that we're in control, that if I just work harder, plan better, we'll finally get it all together. In my way of thinking, just when you think you've gotten it all together, the hamster dies. But it's not the out there, it's the in here that matters. If you can get that, then your life will become much less stressful, and you'll find contentment, a sense that all is well, which is no longer dependent on how things are going on out there. You have to accept whatever comes your way. And the only important thing is to meet it with courage and the best you have to give. Despite these external circumstances, well, even right in the middle, right inside the pain and the suffering and the challenge, right now, in this moment and in the next, and in the next, and in the next, I can hold the posture of gratefulness. I can choose that. This is what I call the gratefulness stance, and it's when gratefulness turns to grace. Don't wait for all conditions in your life to be perfect to experience the joy of living. Live life fully now, just as it is. Welcome it all. Say yes to whatever shows up. We can practice gratefulness by noting pleasant things during our day and giving thanks, by working with our side of the equation, in our mind and in our thoughts, the way we process or interpret what's going on in the world outside of us. We have this wonderful inner freedom to choose our response, even in the turbulence of these times. In the bucket list, there is another poignant moment. I am, therefore I thank. Thank you.